me go ahead and share my presentation.
Yes, so we are now live streaming on our social media. Yes. So good morning, everyone. Actually, now good afternoon, everyone. Hope you guys are having wonderful day. And today is Dev Diwali in India. So happy Diwali to everyone. We are here with Nishant. So Nishant is working with JCU, that is James Cook University in Austria. I would like to ask Nishant about himself and his job role.
Thanks so much. So hi guys, I am Nishant. I'm the recruitment coordinator for James Cook University. Today I'll be taking down a presentation about JCU, what facilities that we carry, what courses that we have, how the life is going to be for the students. I'll be covering everything with regards to the location as well. So, I hope you guys have good information about this presentation. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them.
That would be wonderful. Nishan, before you go ahead with your presentation, I would like to ask you one question that, all the audience wanted to ask you. Not just you, to everyone actually who is there involved with Austrian universities. So they are having this one question: when borders are going to be open for international students?
I've been hearing that question quite some time. Okay, see, unfortunately, not any one of us have a proper exact answer for this question, as to how the situation has been with Australia. What I can tell you right now is with regards to Queensland state where we are, the vaccination rate has been going really well. They've really paced up the vaccination, the program. So we are hoping by December they'll open the borders for Australians and for the residents in the beginning. And what they have told us that they're going to give us a cap of 250 students every fortnight, which is 2 weeks, where they're going to bring in the students and start with with the university. And they have told us that they're going to prefer all the regional universities in Queensland state, so which would be James Cook University in Queensland. So, okay, as of now, I can probably tell you by January and 250 students for a couple of weeks can start coming in. But for entire population, when they completely open, I would say let's give it a couple of more months, probably by March and or April, they might start opening. This is just my prediction. Unfortunately, we do not have any exact answer, but we're just hoping the best.
That's fine. The word is on the hope only. So that's a good news kind of. So students are actually showing their interest towards Australia, upon getting this news that when 80% public will be vaccinated, then the borders will be open for that particular state. So we are hearing news for Sydney and followed by the remaining states. Hope JC will also accept this.
That's absolutely right. So what the government has given is whenever the state hits up the 80% double vaccination, they can start opening up their borders. And recently, the Queensland Premier has also announced that when they hit 80% vaccination, which is right now at 73, if I'm not wrong, when they hit 80%, they're going to start opening up the borders. And they've given a tentative date of December 17, where they might hit 80% vaccination. So that's when they're going to open the borders. That's when they're going to start with Australian citizens and the PR, and slowly they're going to move on to the international students, which is the next.
Okay, extension to this discussion. Which are the vaccines which is valid for international students who can travel over there?
Yeah. So with regards to India as a concern, they're okay with both Covishield and Covaxin, which they've recently agreed. The Australian government have agreed to bring in, all the people who put in Covaxin as well, and Covishield, which is an approved WHO. So with regards to,
because we thought, Covaxin might create some issue as initially it was
initially. Yeah, initially it was a little bit of a confusion whether they will agree with Covaxin, but fortunately, even before WHO approved, Australia were okay with Covaxin vaccination. Where who put the Covaxin, they definitely can come in. Right now, even WHO has approved this vaccine, so yes, we are good to go with both Covaxin and Covishield.
That's great. And what about the quarantine plan? So does student need to, go there and stay quarantined for 14 days or something upon their arrival?
So with regards to Queensland State, yes, even if they're double vaccinated, they are requested to do a 14 days institutional quarantine, where Queensland State have set up a proper institution for all the arriving international citizens to do a 14 days institutional quarantine. This is for initial stages. It might change, after some time, which we do not know. But whatever they've announced right now, they have to do a 14 days institutional quarantine. Yes.
Of course. And what will be the quarantine cost? So it will be paid by the student or institution, or it will be shared. What will be the
Uh,
cost?
so as per the government, they needs to the international passengers needs to take care of the cost of the immigration quarantine. But what the university is planning is, we thought we might help the students to a certain limit with regards to the institution's quarantine. We're still on the planning stages as to how we can help. If we can put in, probably pay 50% of the institutional quarantine, or see what can be done, or give them a little bit more of a scholarship when they come into the university. We're still in the planning stages. So JCU will definitely let the students know whenever they finalize the plan.
That's a relief. And like every university submitted their students' priority list, like whom they want on board, like on campus when borders are open. So JSU is part of it.
Mhm. Um, yes, JCU still have that priority list preparing, but as of now, what we are thinking right now is first to bringing the existing students who've been stuck, preferably all the medicine students, because they're the ones who needs to be on campus. They need to do their practical experience. They need to do their internships to cover up their practical hours. So as of now, the preference would be given for all the medicine students, be it MBBS, PDS, veterinary science, and slowly it keeps on moving to all the existing students for different courses, and then definitely bring in the new students as well.
That's great because they are the one who require to have practical knowledge because without that their subjects are more of like incomplete. So yes,
Exactly,
they are.
exactly.
And what about the on like offshore students who has enrolled themselves for studies but they are unable to join the course on campus. So what are the
Yeah.
facilities provided by the institution to them?
Uh, with regards to JSU, we want to make sure that not a lot of courses should be online, because we do understand students are paying a good amount of money to have that Australian experience, to come there to do their onshore. So we want to respect that, and for most of the courses, we didn't, go online. For the students who applied for the course and they're still deferring, all I can say is just wait for a few more time. It's almost going to end. I understand the frustration. It's been quite a while that you guys are waiting. All I can say is just hold on tight. It's going to open. It's going to happen. You guys are going to come into Australia, and start with the course. So hopefully, by February, if at all, if they open, you guys will have a chance to come in and start with your course onshore. If not, unfortunately, you might have to defer it to July.
That's great. That's still a good news, by the way, for them.
Absolutely.
Because their major excitement to join abroad education is go there, get their cultural experience, how the people are working, what is the campus experiences feel like, and majorly how professors are. Because over here we
Absolutely.
feel that professor are a bit strict. So when we are talking to them, we have that okay, we can't do this, we can't talk like that. But over there, I guess that's the freedom they will be having.
No, that's absolutely right. With regards to the education system that we have in India, it's completely different as to how they work it out in Australia. It's not, you don't have to restrict yourself from asking questions. They would love for the students to ask questions and get to know more about it. So that is going to be a huge difference for the students, because as you mentioned, they might have that restriction as to, okay, if I do I have to ask this question? Do I feel dumber if I ask this question? But there is no
Yes.
such thing. I can tell you openly, at least with JCU, I can tell you openly that professors are here very, very friendly. They would love students asking questions and being very proactive with what they're doing. So you guys you don't have to worry about how the education system was in India, because it's completely different in Australia. So you guys are free and you can ask any number of questions and they'll be more than happy to answer.
Now, because I remember during my college time, that was the most, the one fear I was having, that whether I should be asking
Sure.
this question in our class or not. Because, in class, if I'm asking and professor is reacting in an adverse way, then it will be like
Yeah,
humiliating me in front of my classmates. So let's
absolutely.
not do that.
This happened with me as well. Absolutely right. Whenever I think of a question, okay, maybe should I ask this question? What would they say? What if they say something which is going to be humiliating for me because they're going to be friends around me? What would they think? So you're absolutely right. But fortunately, Australian system isn't like that. They want to clarify because all these questions will be on everyone's head. To be honest, whatever we think.
Yeah.
So and the professors know that in Australia. So that is going to be completely different and it's going to be very helpful for the students there.
That's great. Now, moving further, you can share the presentation and tell us more about JCU. Like, what are the courses, what
So
are the scholarships students will get, and what are the student support services you guys provide?
absolutely.
Thank you.
Let me go ahead and share my screen.
Sure.
Can you guys see it?
Yes, I'm able to say it. It's visible. The image is quite adventurous
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
interesting.
Exactly. That's a good word because that's the main word that I'm going to use. So, uh, hi guys, welcome to James Cook University. Who are students who applied to JCU, you guys going to experience like no other that in your life. So what are the experience that you're going to get in JSU and in Queensland itself? So we have three campuses, Townsville, Keynes, and Brisbane. All of three of them are located in the Queensland state, and both Townsville and Keynes are located in the northern Queensland part of Australia. So some of the experience that you're going to get is the Great Barrier Reef, which is like the wonder of the world. Not every student will have a chance to say that, hey, I'm studying near the Great Barrier Reef. I get to swim and do snorkeling and scuba diving in Great Barrier Reef. This is going to be a very good adventure for you guys and very good experience as well. The other thing is the Daintree Forest, which is the oldest forest in the world with almost thousands of species available. It's absolutely beautiful and drop dead gorgeous. And another important factor here is the Australian outback. So when I say Australian outback, students will have the experience of the true Australian life, where all the people who are living in Townsville and Cairns have been living for decades and for centuries. So they're going to experience what the local Australian life is all about in both Townsville and Cairns. Amongst all these beautiful experience, they're going to find James Cook University, which is going to be the utmost best experience for the students there. It's not just going to be about education. We are not just about education. It's going to be an absolute adventure. They're going to get a lot of benefits, a lot of advantages, and amazing exposure for life there. So today I'm going to be covering about the tropical northern Queensland where we are located. I'm going to be letting you know about James Cook University, what we have, what are the facilities that we carry. I'm going to let you know about the life at JCU, where students will, what is the life that the students will be getting whenever they come to JCU. I'll let you know about the courses that we carry and the procedures on how to apply for it. Welcome to tropical northern Queensland. There is no place on earth like tropical mountain Queensland because it is very, very close to the Great Barrier Reef. So there are some advantages of staying in northern Queensland, and one of them is the tropical weather. So basically, I'm coming from South India in Chennai, and I would love a weather of hot, hotter, and hottest because that's the most thing that I experience in Chennai, and I'd be more than happy to experience that in Australia as well. So in both Townsville and Cairns, you're going to experience a very hot weather in summers and definitely a cool down whenever it comes to a winter season. And in both Townsville and Cairns, there are a lot of unique natural wonders. Out of seven UNESCO's approved natural wonders, five of them are situated in Townsville and Cairns. So you guys will have a lot of things to explore and experience in Northern Queensland. And another key factor here is the affordable cost of living. Both Townsville area, the cost of living would be comparatively economical. When you compare with big cities like they're going to do a part-time job, take care of their expenses, and then study. So when there's going to be an affordable cost of living, they're going to give a peace of mind for the students to make sure they don't have to worry about anything. They can just study and get their grades. So the first thing is the welcoming community. The first thing is the welcoming and multicultural local communities. So when I say welcoming community, both Townsville and Keynes, the people who live there have a very open mind and they always welcome the international students because they understand the value that they bring. Whenever the international students graduate, they're going to work in the regional city in Bolt and Townsville, which is going to develop their cities where they understand that the standard of living will also increase. So the community here is very, very welcoming. Students will always have that mindset as to how am I going to mix it in the culture, how am I going to gel with the new society, and how am I going to survive in the new country as well. So with the welcoming attitude of the local community, they're going to find a little bit easy to ease out and to gel with the crowd there. And as I mentioned, the tropical climate, which is going to be an ideal active outdoor lifestyle. There are a lot of things to explore here. We've got Magnetic Island, which is the famous spot amongst the students, where it's a 3 hour to 4 hour boat ride to this particular island, where they get to do camping for the weekend for a couple of days, explore the island. It's a beautiful island, and then they come back. So it's a very beautiful place to visit. And the pristine sustainability and focused environment. Both Townsville and Kane City gives a lot of importance to the sustainability environment. So basically, they're going to be live in a very clean and green city. So let's talk about Townsville, the main campus that we have. So Townsville City is almost a 200,000 populated city. It is one of the largest city in Northern Australia, Northern Queensland, basically, and it's definitely one of the fastest growing regional centers in Australia. So when I say regional, the students will be getting the post-study work visa rights of 4 years after they graduate. So let's say, for example, if a student is coming down to study, MBA, which is for 2 years. So after 2 years, they're going to get 4 years of post-study work visa rights. It sums up to 6 years of total stay in Australia. So this is going to benefit the students who they whenever they come to a green city. And there's going to be a diverse economy in Townsville City, be it mining, mineral processing, agricultural, manufacturing, tourism, healthcare. JSU has its very own hospital set up in Townsville City, which is one of the biggest hospital in the city, with all kinds of facilities available. So students who are going to come down to study their medicine program, their health program, they will always have the opportunity to work in the JSU hospital, be it a part-time job or internship or a full-time job offer as well. It's also a gateway to a rich mix of culture and lifestyle and adventure. So when you see it in a small map, this is where our university is located. And very close to this, it's a small castle hill. It's a beautiful spot where most of the students, it's just a couple of 2 hours drive. They go on top of the hill, view the beautiful sunsets and the sunrises. It's a very beautiful spot to take photos, just hang out with the students, spend some time and then come back. And we've got a museum of tropical Queensland, which is pretty close to the James Cook University. And as I mentioned, the Magnetic Island. It's a beautiful place. This is a very famous spot. I think whenever student you guys go there, that's the first thing everyone would suggest. Go back to the Magnetic Island. So in the picture here, this is where the Magnetic Island is located. You guys take a boat ride, which is a couple of hours, and then you guys get to enjoy a couple of days camping there. Another key factor for the students who are going to study in Townsville City is, four of the national scientific organizations have set up their headquarters in Townsville City. A few of them are the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority. So we've got Bureau of Meteorology, Australian Institute of Marine Science, and we've got the CISRO. So all these four scientific organizations have set up their headquarters in the Townsville City. This is going to play a huge advantage for the students because when students is going to come down and study their science degrees, they will have a huge advantage of getting a part-time job or internship or a full-time job offer as well in one of these four headquarters there. Let's move on to the Cane City. To me, Cairns is basically a very, very touristy spot. It's a very beautiful place. With a lot of tourist thing available in the Cairns city. It's a very young and vibrant town in the city. It's 170,000 population, comparatively lesser than Townsville, yes. But it's a very, very happening city. And the Great Barrier Reef is very, very close to the city. It almost borders the city. So once you're in the apartment and 20 minutes away, you get to dive in the Great Barrier Reef. So that's a very, very unique thing that students will get to experience. It's a very clean and green city, as I mentioned. And the major industry which is very demanding here is tourism, health, agriculture, and education. So I want to give a small fact about Cairns. Cairns is the second most visited city by the international tourists in the whole of Australia. So the tourism industry is very, very demanding here. uh, you know, there's going to be a lot of hotels. There's going to be a lot of tourist spots for the international tourists to visit. So the tourism industry is always busy and buzzing in Kansas City. So let's move on to talking about our university, which is Streams. Basic courses are designed to help the students succeed in the global workforce. And what are the designs that we can? The first one is we have been awarded 5 stars for graduate employment, which is such a very, very honorable mention because graduate employment means whenever students graduate, almost 80 to 90% of the students get their job immediately after they graduate. So, which is a very, very good thing for the students because whenever students finish up their graduation, their main focus is going to get a job, and they always struggle there. And in Australia, there's no concept called campus interview, just like how we find it in India, where companies are going to college, conduct interviews and pick the students up and give them a job. That's not how Australia as a whole works. So how we JCU help them out is we have a placement cell and career counseling cell set up inside the university where they help the students to build their CV, structure their skill set, basically get ready for the market. So this will ensure that they're confident enough to face any interviews, and the career counseling cell and the placement cell will also let the students know whenever there is an opening in the market. So for them, they're going to get ready for the interview. They're going to get the interview, and it's definitely up to the students how they crack it. So we've got clinical placements, we've got fieldwork, lab time internships, which is going to be part of any course that they choose. They also get the opportunity to work while they are studying. So with regards to rankings, we are ranked in the top 2% of the world rankings. We also ranked 29th in the best young universities in the world. We've been awarded 5 stars for learner engagement and skills development as well. And we've got 26 specialized research centers and institutes set up in both of these campuses, which is going to help the students to get the practical exposure that they're yearning for. This is something that we do not find in our country. The practical exposure is something why the students are moving to different countries because that's where the whole focus is. And I want to assure you guys that JCU is the main focus is for the practical exposure and the practical experience for the students. And JCU proudly boasts a very diverse cohort. So when I say diverse cohort, out of 16,500 students, almost 12 to 15% are international students coming from almost 111 countries. So coming from Africa, we've got students coming from US, we've got coming from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, we've got coming from Sri Lanka. So it's a very, very diverse cohort. All these students will have the same mindset. How I'm moving to a different country, how am I going to survive there, how am I going to adapt to the new culture which is prevailing in that particular country. So when we have a diverse cohort, students will experience different culture. Students coming from different countries carry their own culture, so this will help them to understand the different culture and the different mindset. They will have a chance to bond with any a lot of students coming from different countries. This is a very, very good opportunity for the students to have that social impact in their life. We're also proud to say that we're number one in the world for marine and freshwater biology. We are number two in the world for biodiversity conservation. And we also, give a lot of importance for hands-on learning in spectacular World Heritage listed reefs and rainforests. So I'll be talking about the research stations that we have set up in the next few slides, where students will have the opportunity to work in those research stations. So with regards to JCU Townsville campus, it's a very huge campus, to be honest. It's almost a 400-acre campus, which boasts all kinds of facilities available for the students, ranging from science lab to tech labs to restaurants, cafes, sushi bars. We've got gyms, libraries, on-campus accommodation, name it, you'll be finding everything inside the campus. We also provide bicycles and the electric hoverboards for the students, because we understand it's practically impossible for the students to move from one building to another by walk. So we provide them at a very cheap cost for the students to move from one building to another. And with regards to the map where we are located, it's 13 to 15 kilometers away from the main city. But honestly, that takes around 20 to 25 minutes, which is still a little bit quicker, but it's quite far from the center of the city. Yes, but you will have the basic needs and certain malls and restaurants nearby the campus as well. With regards to Kane's campus, it is a comparatively smaller campus, yes, but it's a very beautiful and scenic campus, because the whole campus has been surrounded by mountains. So wherever you turn, you can see a mountain available. It's a very beautiful campus. It's located near to the northern beaches in the suburb of Smithfield. So students will be able to find a lot of beaches near to Kane's campus. I think almost 3 to 4 beaches. Uh, this is also 15 kilometers away from the center of the city, but it's still pretty quick with regards to the Australian roads there. So let's take a look at a small, how students' life is going to be at JCU. So the student support that we provide are the student JCU Student Association. We've got the International Student Association. We've got the Student Mentor Program, and we've got academic assistance. So the International Student Association is going to help specifically for the international students to the basic questions that they carry whenever they move from one country to another. So we've got the student mentor program, where we're going to allocate each student with or another existing student who already been studying in JSU for a couple of years. This is going to help them to pass on their knowledge to the new student who's coming in, because there's going to be a lot of questions, once they immediately land in the airport. How am I going to go to the campus? How am I going to open a bank account? How am I going to get my Australian mobile number? So there's a lot of basic questions where they're left unanswered. But with the student mentor program, with the help of the existing student, they're going to get all the help that they need to make ease the transaction. There's a lot of clubs available for the students as well, be it the course-based clubs. We've got the resident associations where they regularly conduct sports events for the students who've been staying on campus. We've got sports recreation club, we've got the cultural and religious club, and the political advocacy club. So these are some of the clubs that students will be able to join. This is also a very good opportunity for the students to meet other students studying different courses, coming from different countries, to bond with each other, to socialize them, and to understand how their mindset works. A very interesting and a unique thing about JSU, it's the dive club, JSU Dive Club. So students will have the opportunity to register with JSU Dive Club, where they get to experience snorkeling and scuba diving with proper professional trained scuba divers. This is something very to JCU. The students will not be able to find in any other university. And it's one of the rare opportunity for anyone to do a snorkeling and scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef. Now, students will have the access to get it trained by professionals, get to do a 2 to 12 day lifeboat trips to the center of the Great Barrier Reef, and they get to dive to do scuba diving and snorkeling there. Let's look at some of the pictures as to how the experience of JCU life is going to be. And if you see here, you can definitely say that they're celebrating Holi there in Australia in JCU campus, where get all students will come together. They get to have some snacks, have some food, experience Holi, have some fun out of their studies. This is going to be a small stress buster for the students there. And always regularly conduct different events happening in and around the campus. They get to do dance, they have musicals, they have stand-up comedy shows. We have some free lunch Fridays, barbecue Thursdays, etc. These are some of the pictures where students will actually experience what they're going to get. So another important thing that we have is the international student support team. So how is the student, whenever a student applies with a different country, the transition of moving from one country to another is very, very difficult because they need to find an accommodation, they need to move around the places, they need to get all the basic facility that they have at home. So with the international student support team, we want to make sure that they're comfortable enough whenever they come to JSU. So from the moment they get picked up by the international student support team, they get to drop in wherever the accommodation is, be it on campus or off campus. Let them know what needs to be done in the next couple of days. The basic thing is first thing is the mobile number. They need to open a bank account. They need to make sure that these are some of the important places with regards to groceries, hospitals, etc. So we want to give them all the information that they have whenever they immediately come to JC. And we have the international orientation as to what the student needs to expect in the next couple of weeks by the university. How what is it that they need to do, where is their building, where is their classroom, etc. So and we also have the international students mentor program, as I mentioned, where they get to have the experience, they get to get the knowledge of the existing students and get answers for all the questions that they have. And there's always going to be regular social events conducted by the international student support team. As I mentioned, we've got free lunch Fridays, we've got high tea Thursdays, barbecue Thursdays. Sometimes, we've got book reading club where they, bring in free muffins and coffee and just, exchange books and start reading them in 2 hours inside the campus. So the campus is always buzzing with any event. This is a good opportunity for students to go and meet students and bond with each other. Campuses. With regards to Townsville, we're actually building a new one, which is absolutely amazing. To be honest, when I got to look at the new on-campus accommodation, I was really shocked and I was a little jealous about it because I never going to get experience in that accommodation because they're going to get master chef style kitchen for the students to cook their own food. They're going to get a game room, a PlayStation room. They're going to get a small open terrace to conduct their parties and to have a get together or anything. And they're going to have four types of stay inside the on-campus accommodation. They get to get their own house, even if they want a private room or if they want to share a room. You name it, you're going to find everything inside the campus. It's going to be super good. So with regards to the map, there are a lot of shopping center available near the Townsville campus. We've got the Stockland Townsville Shopping Center. We've got Willow Shopping Center. There's a Riverside Gardens where students generally go and hang out, spend some time, get relief from all the assignments and the assessments that happen at the university. So it's a very, very beautiful city, to be honest, and they all will find the basic need that they will find. So we've got the Trinity Beach, which is pretty close to the JCU Gaines campus. We've got the campus shopping village, which is right opposite to the campus, where students will be able to find anything that they need. And we've got another Smithfield Shopping Center, which is close by the campus. And let's move on to the courses that we carry. So before we move on, let me talk about the on-campus accommodation and the off-campus accommodation. Students will also have the option to choose off-campus accommodation, which is very close to the campus. So personally, if you ask me, there's going to be benefits in both on-campus and off-campus, and there's going to be disadvantages in both off-campus and on-campus. I personally would always suggest to students to take on campus for a couple of weeks or at least 1 month initially, and then move on to off campus accommodation. Because to me, I have this policy when I am out of the university, I want to be out of the campus. I don't want to stay inside the campus because that thought will always remain me. Okay, I'm out of the classroom, but I'm still in the university. Uh, I don't know what fun I'm going to have inside the university again. So, each one will have their own perspective. I'm just giving my opinion. But when you have the off-campus accommodation, you will have your own space, you will have your own privacy. You're definitely outside the campus, and it's comparatively economical than on-campus accommodation. But the advantages that you're going to get when you stay on campus is you will have the access to all the regular events happening inside the campus, all the free lunch Fridays and the barbecue Thursdays, etc. Safety, you don't have to worry about safety because you've got proper security inside the on-campus accommodation. And you get to experience a lot when you stay inside the campus. You don't have to worry about transportation at all because you're literally inside the campus. You can just take a cycle and go to the building that you want to study there. Moving on to the offer programs that we have, we have exchange programs, we've got study abroad programs, UG programs, PG, and higher degrees by research. But as of now, due to COVID situation, we have only UG, PG, and research programs. We have put on hold for all the diploma study program abroad and the exchange programs. So with regards to undergraduate and postgraduate programs, we have different departments, we have different colleges, ranging from engineering to IT to medicine, business. We've got veterinary science, we've got law, we've got arts, etc. So we have very beautiful courses with very unique specializations available for the students to take up, which you see. With regards to the eligibility criteria for undergraduate students need to get a minimum of 70% in their 12th to be eligible for any course that they choose for all the non-medicinal courses. And for the medicinal courses, be it MBBS, PDS, they need to get a minimum of 90% in their undergraduate in their 12th to be eligible for the MBBS and BDS. And for both these programs, mathematics should be a mandatory subject for the students to be eligible. If they do not have mathematics, and even if they get 95%, they still wouldn't be eligible for MBBS and BDS because it's a prerequisite from the university. We want to make sure that they have that quantitative skills from the maths that they get to make sure that they carry on the MBBS program really well. So that's the reason why we made mathematics as a prerequisite. So without maths, they are not eligible for MBBS and BDS. With regards to postgraduate programs, students need to get a minimum of 65% in their undergraduate with no more than 15 backlogs in any of the course that they choose. So with this particular 15 backlogs is basically for the students who is coming down to study engineering or IT. University wouldn't expect the students to have 15 backlogs in their business program because it's a comparatively easier program to crack it. So this is specifically for engineering, IT, and all the science major programs. These are some of the course where the students will get to explore, ranging from arts and social sciences to business to education. We've got engineering, we've got environmental management, which we are pretty famous for. We've got healthcare sciences, IT, we've got law, medicine, planning, psychology, science, and veterinary science. These are some of the courses that we carry, ranging from Masters of Engineering Professional, we've got Master of Science, we've got Master of Data Science, and I've got some good news for the students where we're going to introduce a new course called Masters of Marine Biology, which is going to kickstart from July 2022, which is specifically designed for marine biology. Since we are number one in the world, we want to make sure that students experience what real marine life is all about. So we've got very unique specializations available for marine biology, and they're going to get a lot of opportunities after they graduate with regards to the jobs that they're searching. So moving on to the scholarship that we have. So we have a very, a different kind of, a unique kind of scholarship that we carry, which is called the International Student Merit Stipend Scholarship, where students will be getting a $700 stipend every single month for the entire duration of the course. So let's say, for example, if a student is coming down to study Bachelor of Business, which is for 3 years, if the student is eligible for the scholarship, from the month they're starting, every single month for 36 months, they're going to get $700 credited into their bank account from the university. So this amount, they can use it however they want. They can use it for their rent, entertainment, transportation. If they want to save it, they can save it. It's totally up to them. The average cost of living in both Townsend and Keynes would range from $1,300 to $1,500. Obviously, it's going to depend from student to student on how they spend it. I've had a lot of students who made sure that they cut down their expenses to $800 per month, which is really, really good. And there are also a lot of students who spend almost $2,000 a month. So it's totally up to the students how they carry their lifestyle, what they prefer, how they prioritize their needs. But we want to make sure that we help the students almost 50 to 80% of the living expense, so that they don't have to worry about taking care of themselves, and they just concentrate more on their studies. And to be eligible for the scholarship for the undergraduate programs, they need to get a minimum of 75% in their 12th to be eligible for the scholarship. And for all the postgraduate programs, students need to get a minimum of 70% in their undergraduate to make sure that they're eligible for the scholarship. This scholarship is not available for MBBS, DDS, veterinary science, and Masters of Engineering. So apart from all these 4 courses, all other courses are available for the scholarship. We also provide access to world-class research, special research centers and institutes. Some of them are mentioned here. This is going to give a huge advantage for students who want to do their projects, their thesis, their hands-on experience, their research, etc. So all the facilities, are just going to help the students to finish up their paper that they're doing with regards to the degrees that they choose. So one of the very unique thing that we have is the JSU Ideas Lab. This is a very proud thing for us, because we have partnered with one of the huge tech giant called Hawaii, where we have set up this $30 million facility for the students to do their research, to do their projects, to enjoy the practical exposure that they're really waiting for. And we've got a very famous science place in JSU. It's a very famous spot for the students, not just to do their research, but just to hang out, because it's a very, very beautiful. It basically brings out the true character of JSU, because you get to see all the marine life inside the campus. As you see here, this is a standalone aquarium, which is right in the entrance of the science place. We've also got 3 retail food outlets for the students to just come there, have some food, enjoy with friends, and then go back to their classrooms. We also have one more complex coming up, which is still under construction. We've got the Technology Innovation Complex, which is almost $100 million facility, STEM facility available for the students, which contains all the leading edge science technology. We've got engineering and mathematics facilities for the students. This is basically focusing on creating a sustainability benchmark for tropical buildings. This particular complex boasts a very sustainability, environmental friendly building, and also have lots of facilities for the students to do their research and to enhance their knowledge. So that's it from my end, guys. I hope you guys got valuable information about JCU. And if you guys want to and study with JCU, please go ahead and reach out to the Expert Education. They will definitely help you out. They will let you know about the process and how to go about it. And I'm open for any questions that you guys have with regards to the university.
That was a wonderful information shared by you. According to me, I feel like people who are more into nature, conserving and exploring it, JCU is the perfect fit for them. Because looking at the campus experience, having aquarium inside the campus, that's more of like, okay, I can learn anywhere. This more of like this wildlife sciences, you have to go into the field, go find, search. But when you can bring the nature inside the campus, so that is kind of a different level. And one more thing I liked about JSU was the stipend process. Instead of just giving them scholarship, like, some relaxation in the fees, rather you guys are giving them money monthly. So they can utilize it not just in a tuition fee, but in whatever expenses they are having. So that's more of like, convenient way for students to use that money wherever they require it. So that was amazing. And you have mentioned 4 courses which doesn't have the scholarship stipend program. So do we have anything for those programs?
With regards to MBBS and BDS, no, because that's very common thing among in in any university because we do not provide any scholarships for the students. Why we do not have scholarship for Master of Engineering? Because the course fee in itself is very, very economical. It's almost $29,000 a year, which is almost the most economical thing that you'll find in all of Australia. So that's the reason why we do not have scholarship for Master of Engineering. But apart from that, for all the medicinal courses, we do not have anything apart
So
from
that's
this.
great. Having a high amount in fees and then decreasing it by providing scholarship, rather you guys are
Exactly.
having fees at a minimal expense.
So
That's great.
yes.
Okay, so far you have resolved all the question I was about to ask you during the presentation. So I don't have any question on behalf of our viewers, but I'll still wait for them to drop some question in either into chat box or Q&A. And meanwhile, I'll check with my team. Do we have any question from our social media? Because we were having participants over there also. So they have
Okay.
joined our live.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
Great.
just check with them. And yes, so a student is asking, all the courses are accredited. I mean, like these are valid at other institution as well, and also in the other countries if they want to get the degree from here and work somewhere else. So this course will help.
Do they asking any specific course, or they just in general they're asking all
In
the courses?
general, they are asking.
Okay, so almost all of our courses are accredited. There are some courses we're working on it. We're actually submitting documents to make sure that they get accredited. But almost all the important courses that which with regards to JSU, it's been accredited. So students will have the accreditation to make sure that it is valid throughout the country. And if they move to a different country, it's still going to give them a more value because it's been accredited. So yes.
Okay. And about the PSW thing, so your one of the campuses have providing 4 years of PSW to the students.
Both Townsville and Kings provide them
Both.
4 years.
So that's a great opportunity for them, if they want to stay back and take the experience, work in the field, get the exposure. So that's an additional point. Apart from that, what students should keep in mind while choosing any university in any country? What do you suggest? How they should be, narrowing down their choices?
Yeah, that's a good question, to be honest. When I generally speak to the students, what I would tell them is first find your true passion. Forget about the university, forget about where you're going to go. First, understand what you like, because this particular thing is going to decide your whole career and decide your whole life. You don't want to just go in for the money. You want to make sure that you like what you do. When you wake up every other day, you like going to the office, you like doing what you want to do. So find what you like, see if that thing has been, streamlined into a course. Well, let's say, for example, sometimes students would like to do in sales. It's a very common thing, yes, but most of them wouldn't prefer, hey, okay, sales means you need to go to the house, each house, and sell this marketing thing. That's not how it works. If you're good at sales, if you're really passionate about it, you'll be working in a huge corporate, working in $1 million deals, working in a world changing company. So if you're really passionate about something, first find that, then choose the course that you want to study. So if you're interested in sales, do an MBA in sales or an MBA in marketing, and then go for the university. The next best thing that you need to do is find a university which is going to help you not just in your course, but in general. When you move out of the university, you want to be ready for the job market and you want to be ready in your life. So you need to have all kinds of support from the university to understand and to have that benefit when you move out of the graduate. So you have few steps. So first find your passion, then your course, then the university. See if that university helps you, and then you're good to go. I think that's how I would generally suggest the students to make sure that they choose. If they're a little bit confused as to what they want to study and how they want to study, don't don't just base it on how the job and how much you're going to earn. That is not going to decide. But probably by a couple of years you wouldn't like the job. Even if you have a six-figure money, you
Yeah.
wouldn't like it. You don't want to sit there. You're slogging there. It's not something that you like. It's not worth it. It's not worth six figures. Might
You
as well
know,
do
not
something that you
like
like.
dead while doing something which you don't like to do, and you're just doing
Exactly.
just to get the living expenses. That's it. You're not having your interest in it. So yes, that's much more important, that you are not going there to study just 2 year program. That is going to be deciding your career, your future. So choose your course accordingly, not just, it's there on the SOL list. So let's just take that course and get it done.
Absolutely true.
So PR
Absolutely true.
shouldn't be their
Deciding
priority.
factor. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
So it's more of like what you want to learn and which university is providing it in a best and correct way. And always suggest students to go through the course structure, because that will give them a bit of a glance like what kind of subjects you guys are going to learn over there. There are differences, like over here, if you study the commerce, so that is carrying a different set of subjects. But when you are choosing any other universities, they are providing some other different set of subjects. So always go through the course structure and then followed by choose the course, because Bachelor of Commerce over here is different and over there is totally different.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Yeah, totally. Now, one more question I'm having is regarding the wildlife science research. So, what will be the process for PhD application? Does student require to have publications, or it will be okay?
So yes, students will need to have publications. The first important thing that they need to have is go to the JSU website, see if if that particular stream that they want to do their PhD is required by the faculty in our JSU. If there's a requirement, they will definitely post it in the website. Then they can go ahead and submit the publications that they're willing to do their PhD. If the if the faculty approves it and they would like them to come and do their PhD, that's when their application process starts. That's when they will come to you guys, to expert, and then start with the process, application process, see if they're eligible, and then it comes to us and goes with the GTE process.
Okay, so the initial process will be finding their interest of research point on
Yeah.
the campus, which is available or not.
Yes.
Do
So
they require to find the guide on their own, or it will be assigned by the institution?
so initial step would be finding them on their own. So all of the PhD students will have their own papers to do their research on, right? So they need to find the same requirement. Is it available with JSU by the faculty? If they find it, they're good to go. They can apply and submit the publications. And once they do that, if the faculty approves it, that's when they come to you guys and start with the application process. And it
Okay.
remains.
So that was a great answer. So far I'm not seeing any other question, neither from the platform or over here. So I guess your presentation has cleared everything.
Thank you.
So students are not having any doubts. Okay, so thank you so much, Nishan, to be here and give the information to our students and to us. That was quite enriching session for us. Thank you so much. Have a great day and hope to see you soon in person.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity, guys. Thanks for joining in. I hope you guys, get to know about JSU, and I really hope you guys come next year and start with us on campus and experience it through Australian life. Thanks for joining in,
Definitely.
and thank you so
Seeing
much.
that diving club, they are going to join the JC.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.